Read the label on that chocolate bar in your cabinet right now. Go on, I'll wait. If the second or third ingredient says vegetable oil or palm kernel oil, you're not eating chocolate. You're eating a candle with cocoa dust sprinkled on it. I've spent 30 years cleaning up after restaurants, bakeries, and grocery stores, and you'd be shocked how much I've learned just standing behind the scenes watching what gets thrown out, what melts wrong, what stains different, and what never goes bad no matter how long it sits in a warm truck. Real chocolate behaves a certain way. Fake chocolate behaves like plastic, and once you know the difference, you can't unsee it on a store shelf. Problem. Here's the thing nobody tells you. Chocolate is one of the most fake, real foods in the entire grocery store. Not fake like counterfeit, fake like legally allowed to call itself chocolate when it barely qualifies. Manufacturers can swap out real cocoa butter for cheap vegetable fats, cut the actual cocoa content down to almost nothing, and load the bar with sugar, soy lecithin, and artificial flavoring, and it still gets to sit on the shelf labeled chocolate. Most people never notice because the bar still looks brown, still tastes sweet, still melts eventually, but it doesn't melt right. It doesn't snap right when you break it, and it leaves a waxy film on your tongue instead of that clean melt real cocoa butter gives you. I've watched people scrub wax and grease residue off break room tables for years. Vegetable oil-based chocolate leaves almost the same kind of film. That's not a coincidence. That's chemistry. The problem gets worse around holidays. That's when the cheapest bars flood the shelves in the fanciest packaging because companies know people are buying gifts, not reading labels. A shiny box with foil wrapping doesn't tell you anything about what's inside. Why it happens. Cocoa butter is expensive. It's a genuinely limited natural fat that only comes from the cocoa bean itself, and global demand keeps driving the price up. Vegetable oil, palm, soybean, whatever's cheapest that quarter, costs a fraction of that. So the second a company wants to protect its profit margin, cocoa butter is the first thing to get quietly reduced or swapped out entirely. This is the same logic I see in cleaning products all the time. Cheap suppliers cut the active ingredient and pad the bottle with filler, water, or fragrance so it still smells like it's working. Chocolate works the same way. Cut the cocoa solids, cut the cocoa butter, and replace both with sugar and oil, because sugar and oil are cheap, shelf-stable, and don't melt in a hot delivery truck the way real cocoa butter does. That last part matters more than people think. Real cocoa butter melts right around body temperature. That's why chocolate melts in your mouth and not in your hand if it's stored right. Vegetable oil substitutes have a much higher melting point on purpose. Manufacturers use them specifically so the bars survive a summer truck ride without turning into soup. You're not just getting cheaper chocolate, you're getting chocolate engineered to survive shipping, not to taste right. That trade-off is exactly why some of the chocolate in your pantry probably hasn't changed shape in 2 years, and that right there should tell you something. Common mistakes. Mistake 1. Judging chocolate by price alone. People assume if it's expensive, it must be real cocoa butter chocolate. Not true. Plenty of pricey brands still cut corners with palm oil and vanillin instead of real vanilla. You're paying for packaging and branding, not ingredients. I've seen $5 bars with worse ingredient lists than the $1 bar next to it. Mistake 2. Trusting the words milk chocolate or dark chocolate on the front label. Those terms have looser legal definitions than people assume. A bar can call itself dark chocolate with a cocoa percentage barely above the legal minimum, padded out with sugar and oil to hit the number without much actual cocoa flavor behind it. Most people assume melting equals quality. Some people think if a bar melts easily in their hand, that proves it's real and rich. Actually, the opposite can be true. Some cheap bars use oils that melt too easily at lower temperatures than real cocoa butter, which is why they turn greasy and soft way faster than they should, especially in a warm car or a jacket pocket. Here's the mistake that costs people the most, though, and it's the one I see even careful shoppers make. Solution. Step 1. Flip the bar over before you even look at the front label. The front is marketing, the back is the truth. Look at the ingredient list, and specifically look at the order. Ingredients are listed by weight, heaviest first. If sugar is listed before cocoa butter or cocoa mass, that bar is more sugar than chocolate, no matter what the wrapper claims. Step 2. Check for the words vegetable oil, palm oil, or vegetable fat anywhere in that list. If you see them, put it back. Real chocolate only needs cocoa butter as its fat source. Any other oil in there is a substitute. Plain and simple, no exceptions, no matter what marketing language surrounds it. Step 3. Look at the cocoa percentage, but don't stop there. A high percentage on the front, say 70%, sounds good, but check what's actually inside that percentage. Some manufacturers count cocoa powder, cocoa butter, and cocoa mass all together to inflate that number, when the actual richness comes specifically from the ratio of cocoa butter to cocoa solids. This is the part almost nobody checks, and it's the one that actually determines how it melts and tastes. Step 4. Do the snap test if you can before or after buying. Break a piece in half. Real chocolate with proper cocoa butter content gives a clean, sharp snap, almost like breaking a thin piece of glass. Fake or heavily cut chocolate bends slightly first, or breaks with a dull, soft sound. I've broken thousands of bars over the years just out of habit, honestly, and that snap tells you more in half a second than any label does. Step 5. Check the ingredient list for soy lecithin versus sunflower lecithin. Both are used as emulsifiers to keep the fat and cocoa solids blended smoothly. Neither one is a deal breaker on its own. Most real chocolate uses one or the other in small amounts. What matters is everything else around it on that list. Here's my pro tip, and it's the one thing most people completely skip. Store your chocolate at room temperature, not the fridge, and check it after 2 weeks. Real chocolate made with cocoa butter will develop a light gray-white coating called bloom if it goes through temperature swings. That's just the cocoa butter separating and recrystallizing, and it's still perfectly good to eat. Fake chocolate made with vegetable oil substitutes usually won't bloom the same way. It stays looking exactly the same for months, sometimes longer, because there's no real fat structure in there to break down. If your chocolate looks identical after sitting in your pantry for 6 months in the summer heat, that consistency isn't a good sign. That's a sign it's not behaving like food. Once you've checked the label, run the snap test, and understand what you're actually buying, you stop guessing at the store. You start shopping like someone who knows exactly what's in front of them, because at that point, you do. That's the real difference between the bars worth your money and the ones dressed up to look like chocolate. Once you start checking labels this way, you'll notice it everywhere. Grocery store shelves, gas station counters, even the fancy gift boxes at the holidays. If this saved you from grabbing the wrong bar next time you're shopping, subscribe. I go through stuff like this on plenty of everyday products people assume are fine just because they've always bought them. Drop a comment and tell me the biggest cleaning or shopping problem you've been dealing with lately. I read every one, and some of my best video ideas have come straight from those comments. And if you want to keep going down this rabbit hole, check out the video where I break down which olive oil brands on the shelf aren't actually pure olive oil either. Same idea, same label tricks, different aisle. You'll want to watch that one before your next grocery run.